Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making the very yummy fudge. So let's get going. So to get started on our fudge, we are going to chop up 3 packages, which are 4 ounces each of the baker's chocolate. This is semi-sweet. And we want to cut that so it's really not super fine, but you don't want these really large chunks. You want them to all be kind of the same size, like a little bit bigger than a pea, I guess. That way it just melts really evenly, and if you have these really big chunks in there and they're going to take slower to melt, then your chocolate is going to just like firm up because it firms up so quickly. It's going to firm up and you're going to have this like massive chunk of chocolate, and you want to have this really smooth, decadent chocolate. So we're just going to cut all these up and put them in a bowl. And you want all your ingredients like ready to go, because you're just going to throw it all in. And you have to keep stirring, otherwise your chocolate will seize up and it just won't be nice and smooth and creamy. And I'm going to be making the marshmallow cream version. You can find it on their website, but I like to do a little bit of a variation on their steps on how to do it. And I like to use margarine instead of butter. My sister uses butter and she says that she can never get it to set up. Well, I use butter and it seizes up like instantly. I can't make it nice and smooth. So I prefer the margarine. So you want them to all be like around this size. It's a little bit bigger than a pea. Because if you have big chunks like this, or like this, I mean, this obviously will melt faster than this will. So we have our chocolate all chopped up. We're gonna have that to the side. And then in a 9 by 13 inch dish, I lined it with tin foil with some coming over the edges. That way when it's nice and firm and set up, you can just lift it right out. No mess to the dish. And we're gonna have everything over by the stove when we get started. But let me just go over what we have. So we have 3 packages, 4 ounces each of the Baker's Square semi-sweet chocolate, 2/3 cup of evaporated milk, 1½ sticks or 3/4 cup of butter, or like I said, I like to do margarine because for whatever reason it works better for me. 1 jar, which is 7 ounces of marshmallow cream, and 3 cups of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I thought I might get a little fancy and add some decorations to the top. So we'll see how that goes. So let's move everything over to our stove. That way it's all right next to us. That way we don't have to stop stirring. And let's get this started. So on a medium heat, I'm adding in the margarine. And I'm gonna break this one up a little bit, just so it melts a little faster. Then we're gonna throw in our 3 cups of sugar and our 2/3 cup of evaporated milk. And we're gonna stir all this so that the sugar gets nice and dissolved. We're gonna bring it to a very hard boil. Okay, so all the butter's melted now, and like I said, I have this on a medium heat. We don't want it too high because it'll scorch. And I'm just slowly kind of moving it around, and we're gonna wait for it to get to a really hard boil before we do anything else. All right, so I say that's a pretty good boil right there. And then we're gonna let this boil, stirring pretty much consistently so it doesn't burn at the bottom, for 4 minutes, or if you have a candy thermometer, it should reach 234 degrees. Right, so we reached the 234 degree temperature, or roughly 4 minutes. I'm going to throw in my vanilla. Be careful, it bubbles. And I'm going to pour in my marshmallow cream. And I like to keep mine on the heat. The directions on the website say to take it off the heat, but I feel like it firms up way too quickly when you do it that way. See how long it takes to get all this out. Imagine if it was off the heat already, because that's when it starts to seize up. All right, so I'm just gonna mix this in, just so most of it is melted. Okay, and then the chocolate will actually help it disperse. So I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna put all my chocolate in. And if you were gonna do nuts with it, this is when you'd put it in as well. I prefer mine nutless. And just stir, 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 stir. And you cannot stop stirring. You stop stirring at this point and your chocolate will seize up and you will have a giant mess. Okay, so it looks like this is all basically dissolved. So now it is time to put it in our pan, and this was where it's gonna really firm up quick, so. Okay, I just like to kind of try to wiggle it as fast as I can into the corners a little bit, so everything gets nice and smooth. Oh, sorry, that was totally out of frame. I am so sorry. I was too busy trying to get that in. So we got it all in nice and flat, and this is where I think I'm gonna add, because it's still nice and cool, or it's still nice and melty, I'm gonna add my little decorations. Just a little bit, nothing insane. This just makes it a little fancy if you want to give it away as a gift. See how they're already rolling off the top because it's already getting hard. Kind of pat it down into it a little bit, not too hard. I've never decorated it like this before, but I saw it and I thought, how cute is that? Let me give it a try. So this is me giving it a try. And then thought I'd be extra fancy and add a little bit of this gold leaf. Just here and there, just to be a little extra, because why not? All right, there you have it. A really simple, easy fudge recipe. And this needs to set up at least, so like I'm doing it at 5 o'clock tonight. This will not be ready till tomorrow morning. If you start yours in the morning, it probably will be ready around nighttime, but give it a good 12 hours to set. You want it really nice and firm. And then cut these up in little 1x1 squares, and they are absolutely delightful. If you'd like to see more of my pastries, tutorials, and baked goods, please like and subscribe below. Have a great day, everybody.